into the Obliterate. So, oh my god, that ability looks so cool. Look at it. Look at that ability. It looks so cool. Oh my god. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video and Frost Deathknights. It appears finally the time is now yours. There was a massive update to the war within, some really big winners on classes and some other classes that are really upset that we're going to be covering in future videos. And of course, you don't want to miss those. Smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. But typically, Frost DKs, you don't really get much text when it comes to these Blue Note updates, but in this round, you're getting a complete talent revamp, some spell animation updates, some gameplay changes as well, and likely more build diversity coming through. And you got this giant essay telling you how much they are now going to be paying attention to you, because obviously your shared specialization Unholy has been getting a tremendous amount of love moving forward, and now it seems like it's finally your turn. So they're looking at making Breath of Cindergosa more bursty with a shorter window rather than focusing on infinite uptime. They are adding Razor Ice to target unit frames and having interactions with it with other abilities like Frost Strike and now the completely revamped Frost Scythe. And they are going to be focusing more on your auto attack damage so that your damage outside of Pillar of Frost windows is going to be higher. Now, this is something that they've been trying to do with a lot of classes, and some of them have had massive success. I think something like Destruction Warlock, where they have tried to focus down on their damage outside of cooldown windows. So I've got the alpha open here. I've just made a Frost Deathknight. We're going to go through all the talents, see what's going on, see what looks really cool, see what looks really juicy here as far as possible like builds, customization. What does it feel like on the training dummies here? What is it going to look like? How am I predicting it to perform really in all varieties of content within the game? So you can see right off the bat, it gives you a bunch of auto locked in kind of talent builds off to the side, and you can reset this. Maybe we should reset this just in case. So we can see every single one. So you get Frost Scythe right off the bat, Obliterate, Howling Blast, Killing Machine, Everfrost, Unleashed Frenzy, improved Frost Strike. So I'm thinking about building a Razor Ice dual wield build is what I basically done. I went back to the Deathknight homeland and I enchanted Razor Ice on 2 weapons because I want to see what this Razor Ice stacking like shatter combo type of play that Frost is getting is going to feel like. Also with the auto attack damage, I want to see what that feels like moving into this one. So we've got improved Obliterate. So Obliterate and Frost Strike I'm likely thinking is where I'm going to want to be aiming a lot of my talents towards. So we get Obliterate as a 15% chance to trigger Rhyme and Howling Blast, or we can get Obliterate damage is just increased and has a chance to refund runes. I like those big chonky Obliterates. Every 2 seconds, gain a stack of Cold Heart, causing your next chains of ice to deal damage, stacking up to 20 times. Yeah. Consuming the Killing Machine effect has a 50% chance to grant you a rune. Horn of Winter, blow the Horn of Winter, gaining 2 runes and generating 25 runic power. I honestly thought Horn of Winter had disappeared a long time ago when it used to be like a strength agility buff that you did for your group. We'll see what else we have here that can be offered to us. Enduring Strength, when Pillar of Frost expires, your strength is increased by 20% for 6 seconds. And its effect lasts 2 seconds longer for each Obliterate and Frost Scythe crit during Pillar of Frost. That could be really good with the build that I'm trying to do here with Frost Scythe. Ice Cap, your Frost Strike and Obliterate critical strikes reduce the remaining cooldown of Pillar of Frost. Again, you know, more Frost Strikes, more cooldown reduction. Frost Whelp's Aid. Pillar of Frost summons a Frost Whelp who breathes on all enemies within 40 yards in front of you for frost damage. Do we want to do that? Summon in a little baby dragon. We got Howling Blast damage or maximum runic power. Let's just go for Howling Blast damage. This is going to get us into Frost Scythe, which supposedly has a new animation as well, and this new Shattering type as well. Consuming Killing Machines reduces the cooldown. I think it's probably going to feel very similar to Wake of Ashes from Retribution Paladin. Remorseless Winter damage is increased by 35%. And then we can get into Chill Streak. And Chill Streak, I believe, has also been updated so that if there isn't something to bounce off of, it will bounce off yourself. Now, I don't see that here, but I do remember reading that in the patch notes. And that's likely going to feel like a really big improvement for the spec overall. Empowered Rune Weapon, we got to get that. That's the juicer. That's going to be giving us all the gas. Enemies suffering 12% increased damage from Chill Streak each time they are struck by it, and Chill Streak bounce range is increased by 2 yards, and each time Chill Streak bounces, 25% chance to increase the number of bounces by 1. Obviously, if you're doing like PvE and maybe even like Battlegrounds, you might want to consider Chill Streak more in terms of kind of just padding the meter for overall damage. But if you're dealing with smaller group content, you probably don't want to focus too much on it. Each time Frost Fever deals damage, 15% of the damage is gathered into the next cast of Remorseless Winter. I think that's a really interesting mechanic, making your dot damage more relevant and then capping it into your Remorseless. Gathering Storm, each rune spent during Remorseless Winter increases its damage by 10% and extends its duration. So we can extend its duration and we can make it do more damage. Those seem pretty good. Those seem pretty good, man. There's too many good stuff. I'm not even at the bottom of the tree yet. Like I'm like, this looks good. That looks good. I want this one. Like, what am I supposed to do, man? Frost Orange Fur. We got to call in Cindergosa. Ain't no way I'm not taking Cindergosa, right? There's no chance. And we can make it stun. This is really good, obviously, for Mythic Plus trash, PvP. So we probably want to take that. Inexorable Assault. Gain Inexorable Assault. Obliterate consumes a stack to deal additional frost damage. So we could go all in on Obliterate. Let's see what these final ones are. Consuming Killing Machine fires a glacial advance through your target. These are what I meant by like animation updates. There's some talents that are making, glacial advance, so you don't necessarily have to talent for it. You can just get it passively. Long Winter. While Pillar Frost is active, your auto attack critical strikes increases duration. So I'm running a dual wield build, so that could be really good. So I'm thinking we go into this one. Your auto attack critical strikes have a chance to send Sleet of Ice, and we can get longer duration Pillar of Frost. So and then with the cooldown reduction on it as well, we can just get it like all the time. Casting Howling Blast with Rime active causes jagged icicles to fall on nearby targets. It'd be some good AoE damage. When Frost Strike damages an enemy with 5 stacks of Razor Ice, it will consume them to deal additional damage. I wanted that one. That's the one I wanted. Your Frost Strike consumes 5 stacks. It deals 50% of the damage to nearby enemy. Okay, I wanted this one as well. This is one of the new ones that I wanted to try out specifically. So now we're running out of talents, man. We're running out of talents quick here. So where are we going to go with this last one? Do we get the Frost a little whelp here on our Pillar of Frost because we got the CDR with our Pillar of Frost and everything else? I feel like not getting this Runic Power thing is probably going to come back to bite me. It kind of feels like, because this is like one of the first times I've really filled in this talent tree and actually looked at it. So coming from a player who's like, very limited experience, I feel like there's a lot of room for me to make a mistake. Like, I don't even know, even remotely close, if these are really the best options in terms of performance. And you guys let me know in the comments down below if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I feel like a lot of other people, they're just going to plug this into a sim machine. It's going to tell them which ones do the most, and everyone's going to have the same build in PvE regardless. But if you're somebody who just wants to just play the game yourself and try and do this, I feel like there's so much more room for error that you're going to end up messing it up more often than not. So we got the new Pillar of Frost auto attacks dual wield build with Razor Ice in mind with that baseline talent tree. We also have the talent tree over onto the right, which I believe has seen some updates as well. We'll just get some of the obvious baseline ones, Death and Decay for cleaving damage. Blinding Sleet's great AoE CC in order to interrupt monsters, so probably take one of those, or maybe we should just take the only ones that do damage or something. Auto attacks grant you a shield. I think we're going to take that with the dual wield. That could be kind of fun. And auto attacks have a chance to generate runic power. Of course, we're going to take that. Attack speed. We want more attack speed. We want more CDR. Haste in D&D seems good. We don't really care about dominate undead. Your diseases have a chance to weaken your enemy and cause 6% more damage to the target. That seems really good. Enfeeble. Your ghoul's attacks have a chance to add enfeeble, reducing their movement speed and damage they deal to you. Kind of tough because you don't really have a permanent pet. Although, 15% damage reduction to you seems kind of good, but Death's Advance grants additional movement speed. We haven't even gotten to the hero talents either. There's still even more. 20% stamina? What is that? Reduce the cooldown of any magic shield by 20 seconds and absorb more. Absorbs are 15% more effective on you as well. 60 obviously for a stun. Any mag zone, great raid CD. Increase the effectiveness of your we want that one for the Razor Ice. We're going to get a lot of Razor Ice pressure out of this. Now, I don't know how Soul Reaper is for Frosty Case. So if I take this and name Frosty Case in the chat, in the comments down below, get mad at me about taking this and trying it out, maybe let me know. But I feel like Soul Reaper needs to get buffs. Am I wrong about that? Like, this used to be like a pretty serious execute, and I don't think it is anymore. Death and Decay reducing their movement speed even more. Could be nice maybe in Battlegrounds, like a 90% snare in our RBG could be actually pretty good. More mobility seems nice. The amount absorbed in its cooldown reduction, damage taken from area effect is reduced, and when you suffer a loss of control, you gain even more reduced damage from AoE, but unfortunately it's only AoE. Leech with auto attack could be good. Damage reduction on Lichborn, getting an extra damage reduction with Icebound Fortitude seems really good. Death's Advance and Death Decay have 2 charges. That's obviously really powerful. Now, these capstone talents. So, Blood Draw. When you fall below 30%, you can drain health from nearby enemies, and the damage you take is reduced by 10, and your Death Strike cost is reduced, but it can only occur every 3 minutes. It's a very long cooldown. Your auto attacks reduce the target's attack speed by 5%, stacking it to 4 times. That could honestly be really good with the dual wield build. You're going to get that stacked up really fast. Consuming a rune has a chance to increase your strength. That seems really good. We need that. And then damage taken below 30% is just reduced by a significant amount. That seems ridiculously good. When you pull an enemy, damage you deal you is reduced. And obviously Abomination's Limb is like the classic. Like, I feel like we kind of have to take that. But then we can't get this one, which is anti-magic shield. Just gives you more healing received while it's up, and magic damage taken reduced, and the duration of dots on you is reduced. Wait, what? Wait, does that also reduce polymorph? Reduces the duration of harmful magic effects by 35%. And then casting anti-magic shield grants 2 nearby allies also lesser anti-magic shields, and reduces the duration of magic effects by 50%. So you could just remove dots. You have like a dot removal build, and you can protect them from CC. That seems new. That seems really new. I mean, that seems really good. But obviously, I feel almost wish Abomination Limb was just baseline. And then obviously we got the hero talents, and everybody's really excited about the Rider Apocalypse. They did a lot of coverage of it. But I specifically want to see the Deathbringer because I've never seen it yet. And maybe it's not even enabled yet. It looks like it is. It's got the icon, so hopefully it is here. So we got the Deathbringer, Reaper's Mark. Viciously slice into the soul of an enemy, dealing Shadow Frost damage and applying the Reaper's Mark. Each time you deal Shadow or Frost damage, add a stack of the Reaper's Mark. After reaching 40 stacks, the mark will explode. So this plays really nicely into the Razor Ice one as well. We're building stacks and then popping them. Razor's Mark travels to an unmarked enemy if the target dies or explodes below 35% health when there are no enemies to travel through. Okay. Wave of Souls. Reaper's Mark calls forth bursts of Shadow Frost energy and back, dealing Shadow Frost damage both ways to enemies caught in its path. It seems like the Halo talent from Priest. Wave of Souls critical strikes cause enemies to take 5% increased Shadow Frost damage until canceled. So just damage increase. Frost Fever has chance to deal Shadow Frost damage, so just more damage. Shadow Frost damage applies 2 stacks of Reaper's Mark, so you get it faster. Soul Rupture, when Reaper's Mark explodes, it deals 20% of the damage dealt to nearby enemies. This is going to be a crazy amount of damage. Reaper's Mark Explosion deals up to 30% increased damage based on your missing health. And Choice Node, Death's Bargain. When you suffer a damaging effect equal to 25% of your maximum health, you instantly cast a Death Pact. So you get auto Death Pact. When a Reaper's Mark explodes, the cooldown's effect is also reduced. Each rune spent reduces the damage you take by 2%, and each rune generated reduces the physical damage you take up to 5%. So you get 10% damage reduction, or you can get like auto Dark Pact. So if you it really depends on like how significant the absorb is, because sometimes damage reduction is just really good, and you stack that with a Lich Point or something, you basically really tank it. But I'll take the auto proc for now. Swift End, Reaper's Mark cost is reduced by 1 rune, and its cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds. Or Reaper's Mark deals 10% increased damage, and Exterminate empowers an additional Obliterate, but now reduces cost by 1 rune. Additionally, Exterminate now has 30% chance. I kind of like empowering Obliterate. Consuming Killing Machine and Rhyme has a 25% chance to increase the maximum stacks of Icy Talons by 1 up to 2. While Icy Talons is active, your runic power spending abilities also count as Shadow Frost damage. Frost Fever deals its damage in half the duration, and second Scythe of Exterminate applies Frost Fever. So Frost Fever is going to accumulate into our Howling Blast with our baseline talents. So if it deals its damage faster, we might be able to get our AoE or our Winters, whatever it is. I'm thinking that could be a cool synergy. Reduces the cooldown of Lichborn, so we can get the damage reduction more frequently. When an enemy deals direct damage to your anti-magic shell, their cast speed is reduced. Auto Curse of Tongues. That's going to be super annoying in PvP, especially with like Rider Apocalypse just popping AMSs on you, and now you can group AMS and they can't. Okay, but I'm thinking like in PvE, you're probably going to want to take this because getting the 15% damage reduction. Exterminate. After Reaper's Mark explodes, your next Obliterate costs no rune and summons 2 scythes to strike your enemy. The first scythe strikes your target for 35,000 damage and a 20% chance to apply Reaper's Mark. Okay, so this one's all about like popping Reapers, calling in these like big... Okay, let's see. We also need to put these on our bar because we just talented into a whole bunch of abilities, and we got a new spell book to look at that's really big. Okay, so we got Pillar of Frost. That's a super important component, so we should make sure this is on the bar. We got Frost Scythe, which is our new ability, and we got the Reaper's Mark. Now, where are we going to put this? Frost is getting a lot more buttons, is something that I will say. I think the last time that I tried to play Frost, it didn't really have a lot of buttons. It was probably like some of the least keybind classes I've ever seen. This is not like terrible though. I'd say it's still on the lower end of like overall keybinds. Abomination's Limb. We also need Death and Decay. We don't really need the, movement abilities right now to be able to just test this out on the training dummy. So I just really want to give this a go. So let's get some dots on the target so we can start accumulating that damage. And we can see I've got Razor Ice on the target, and my Frost Strikes do consume it. So just right off the rip, you can see my Frost Strikes consuming that. We'll buff this up. We'll get a rhyme going. We'll just pop our thing. We'll call in Cindergosa. I got Glacial Advances coming through. I got the Abomination Limb out here. We're getting more and more stacks. We're popping those stacks with our Frost Scythe as well. Frost Scythe. Okay, it's Frost Scythe is not popping them, unless I misread that it's not supposed to do that. But this kind of like getting stacks and then popping them with your Frost Strike is going to give you a lot of extra sustain damage, I think, that you obviously didn't have before. I think the little buff where your dot is ticking faster as well to now make this, my Remorseless Winter, start hitting even harder is likely going to be really fun. And I already have Pillar of Frost off cooldown. I literally just, there's no way it's been a minute. I literally just pressed Pillar of Frost. So we can just keep making our Frost Strikes even bigger, keep trying to get Rhyme procs, keep calling in little extra Glacial Advances. The Frost Scythe doesn't, actually hits kind of hard, 112k on top of the other numbers that I'm seeing so far. That actually might be the hardest hitting attack. So just a nice little cleave, basically. It's just like a cleave. We're just going to keep trying to work the cooldown reduction here. I didn't really notice the Reaper's Mark, though. If anybody really else, let's see here. So it costs 2 runes. We're going to put the Reaper's Mark. So it quickly goes up to 20 stacks. It's wild, going up really fast. I can just see it on the target going up really fast, and then it just kind of explodes. Okay, what was that animation, dude? Oh my god, what was that animation? Holy crap. Oh my god, like what was that? Did you see? Oh my god, my sword, like, I'm just slashing through everything with ice and stuff. Like, the animations on this are, I don't know if that's baseline from Dragonflight or whatever, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So a huge focus on auto attacks. We got insane like proc rates here. I mean, this feels like a Frost Decay, no? I would say the Reaper's Mark is not like super visual. Like, it just looks like a debuff. I don't really notice it overall. And obviously, like, all this is subject to tuning as far as like which options on this baseline build is gonna be strong. I just looked at what was like new and what's gonna be looking kind of fun. I already almost have my Pillar of Frost back off cooldown with all the cooldown reduction that we've got. Seems like I'm able to get my Pillar of Frost super fast. So now I kind of want to try this like auto glacial spike thing over here. But this Shattered Frost thing seems really fun. I like this. Unfortunately, though, I think Breath of Cindergosa probably, if it just ends up being the best build, then everybody's just going to go that way. I could see this build, though, in PvP being super fun with the Howling Blast and with the Shattering combos. So I just want to see what this one looks like, though. So let's just see what this looks like. Oh, no, you really got to, like, lose a lot in order to get over here to get this, don't you? Okay, we're messing with the talent tree a lot just because I want to see what this animation looks like. Let's see. Okay, Arctic Assault, consuming killing machine, fires a chance. So we got to get a proc. All right, let's try and get a proc. All right, there we go. I didn't see it because I think it went into the wall. Okay, we got to face away from the wall. We got to get a proc. Give me a proc. There we go. You can see it on the Obliterate crit. So it just adds a Glacial Advance into the Obliterate. So, oh my god, that ability looks so cool. Look at it. Look at that ability. It looks so cool. Oh my god. What is that? I look like Marrogar or something from ICC when the oh my god. Oh my god, it looks insane, bro. Oh my god, look at it. That thing looks insane. I can call a dragon through when I do that too, I think. Here's a dragon and then boom. Okay, I didn't get it. I don't know how to get that animation consistently, but it looks really cool when it happens, and I wish that it just all happened all the time. But I guess it wouldn't be special if it just happened all the time, right? Okay, so you're definitely getting visual updates. You're getting some improvements. We could slap on the other hero talent as well here, just to just give it a ride. See what the Riders of the Apocalypse looks like. But I could see in PvP obviously Obliterate has been a really big focus. So adding Glacial Advances just increases the damage of Obliterate basically. And you get the guaranteed Howling Blast procs as well from Obliteration. So I'm thinking this probably ends up being like the go-to PvP option. But obviously, we can use our mount outside, or we can get Death's Advance to change. This is where we can just call in the 4 horsemen to give us anti-magic shells. Like, this talent tree is absolutely busted. So we can get more horsemen, or while you have 2 horsemen out, you get even more damage, and you call them in, I believe, from your Frostworm's Fury. So you are going to need to take Frostworm's Fury, really, in order to make this talent tree work. But basically, you're just going to be able to call in all of the 4 horsemen to just completely dominate and annihilate anybody that comes down on your path. And I don't have the Frostworm's Fury, so we're just going to be able to look at this little animation here for a little bit while attacking the training dummy. But this feels really good. It also feels completely different at least visually, from Unholy, which I really like. And I like the Frost. Oh, so if you're not running the Razor Ice popping ability, you might not want to run the Razor Ice. I'm also playing the dual wield, but here we go. Let's call in the 4 horsemen. We got all 4 horsemen called in here. You're not going to have nearly as many pets as, Unholy Deathknight, but the 4 horsemen in themselves putting Death and Decay on the ground for you, giving you extra cleave damage, giving you extra procs, making the target brittle, amplifying your moves, and obviously you're going to be able to move faster by being able to mount in combat like this. So the 4 horsemen, I feel like they don't feel as epic as Frost, just because like you're not really, the only advantage is the mobility, right? Like look at me, I'm riding on my mount, I'm really fast. The other build with the Reaper's Mark and the explosion probably fits better into what you're already doing, where you're like shatter comboing the class like a Frost Mage, an old school Frost Mage used to be. So I'm kind of feeling like the Reaper's Mark is probably going to feel a little bit better in that regard. But overall, I think the animations are really nice. I'm hoping that they can deliver on what they're talking about, because what they're saying in that post seems really promising. I'm just hoping that the talent build ends up working out the way that they're making these promises. But other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this first little taste. And Frost Death Knights, you guys finally got some love. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.